Cowboys clinch their first playoff berth since 1999. On the first play of the game, it appeared that dream might come true when Quincy Carter hooked up with Joey Galloway for a 64-yard gain. The catch was the longest play from scrimmage all season for the Cowboys, and it led to a 24-yard field goal. Later in the first quarter, with the game tied at 3, the Cowboys defense started to heat up. Dallas safety Roy Williams set the tone with a ferocious hit on the Giants wide receiver Amani Toomer. Later in the period, Quincy Carter found the end zone when he hooked up with rookie tight end Jason Witten for a 36-yard score, giving Dallas a 10-3 lead. Late in the first half, while backed up on their own goal line, Tiki Barber was stuffed by Roy Williams and appeared to fumble into the end zone. The ball was recovered by Dat Nguyen, but the touchdown was overturned by instant replay. The Giants had to punt, and the Cowboys took advantage of good field position as Billy Cundiff drilled a 42-yard field goal just before the half to give Dallas a 13-3 lead. In the third quarter, New York had a chance to get back into the game, but quarterback Jesse Palmer was tackled for a 5-yard loss on 4th and 2, ending any hopes of a comeback. Dallas added 2 second-half field goals and went on to win 19-3, securing their first playoff berth in 4 years. For Coach Bill Parcells, it's the first time in his career that he's led his new team to the playoffs in his first year.
Bill, can you describe what the situation was like in the locker room when you went in there?
Here?
Yeah.
Well, they weren't going crazy or anything. They were happy, but, you know, it's a good accomplishment for them, eh? I pay tribute to them. But, you know, this league is now such where if you can get things going a little bit and get the right pieces at the right time and get a couple good breaks, that you can make some advance from. But, you know, I didn't come here just to try to do that. You know, I'm trying my aspirations and hopefully the teams. I told them the first day that I ever met them, and I told them the same thing today. Get your expectations up, okay? Because that's where mine are. And so get them up.
But what about the impact the second game of the season seems to have had on both teams?
You know, I was asked that down here, Gary. I don't think that a second game of the year, particularly in light of what they did in their first game, I don't think that that's, you could ever say that that game, I mean, it certainly helped us, but I don't think that that was necessarily the key point in the season. I think beating Carolina here was one of the key spots for us. They were riding pretty high, and, you know, that was a big win for us. And then kind of we got brought back down to earth, and then going on the road and beating Washington convincingly, that was good for us. And then, you know, you got to win your way in, so we did, and I'm just happy about it.
What you said you were going to cry? Let's see it.
No, I think you know, it was a big win for us, and we'd you know, I've been looking forward to this day for a long time. You know, last 3 years we've been 5-11. It's been tough on myself and you know, some of the teammates, but you know, these guys are so young. They don't know what they're doing. They don't know what's going on. You know, they're just out there playing. A guy like Terrence Newman and Roy Williams, they're just out there having fun and playing the game. So I want to keep them that way. I want to keep them dumb and playing hard. I'm happy to be where we are right now at 10-5, but you know, I would have never guessed we would have been at 10-5 at this point. And you know, it's a great feeling to you know, to be. You know, we had this losing culture around there for a while, and 5-11 seemed like the mark, you know, we had been stuck on for the last 3 years. So it felt good to get that 6th win, and then, you know, 7, and we got on a little roll, and then, you know, we got brought back down to earth against Miami and Carolina, but it felt good to get this 10th win. Well, you know, I'd done my homework on him, and he knows I did my homework on him with, you know, talking to Aaron Glenn and you know, really kept Richie Anderson close to me to figure out what Parcells was all about. But I understood when he put that tape on my helmet, and he told me, you know, beforehand, he told me in the weight room during the off-season program that I got to prove myself all over again. Then he told me again at a team meeting that I had to prove myself all over again. So to me, it wasn't anything that you know, that hurt. Or, you know, it didn't hurt my feelings. I knew that, you know, this guy's different and he's special. And you know, if he wanted me to put a tape on my helmet, then so be it, as long as we win.
Has Coach Parcells helped make you a thicker skin?
Oh, definitely. You know, this profession and my position, you got to have thick skin. And when I When I say that, I mean you can't worry about what's going on around you, and I've stressed that all year. Some people don't believe that I don't read the papers, but I don't, man, and that's what pretty much my position is about. Is going through the growing pains, and you just got to make strides, man, every time you step out on the football field, because the biggest thing is that everybody feeds off the quarterback. And whatever temperament and attitude he's showing for that particular day, that's the way things are going to go. And that's just what my position is about.
Then we came down here, and I thought our guys had the right attitude. They went out, and we tried some things we weren't very good at. Obviously, we need to get better at some of those. And I was proud of their attitude, and I'm proud of the way they gave effort.
I look forward to the opportunity of trying to get the team back to a place of prominence and a place of high competitiveness.
Mission accomplished, I'd say. Happy holidays to you and yours. With Stuart Scott, I'm Scott Van Pelt. This is Sports Center, and if something happened to someone, then everyone makes the playoffs. Everyone.
With the thing that happened over there.
Actually, it's not quite that messy, and we're here to help try to sort it out a little bit.
Hey, real simple for the Cowboys. Win, they're in. Parcells, former Giant coach, second winningest coach in Giant franchise history. Jim Fossil, soon to be former Giant coach, third winningest coach in franchise history. Parcells, he's the truth, but he's never taken any of his teams to the playoffs the first year. Jim Fossil's Giants haven't scored a second-half touchdown nearly a month. First play from scrimmage for the Cowboys, Quincy Carter, holla at your boy. 64 yards to Joey Galloway. Galloway, no catches last week, one this week. That one set up a Billy Cundiff field goal later in the first. Q was really good. 36-yard pass to Jason Witten, touchdown. Cowboys looking for their 27th playoff appearance. They're up 10-3. 5 seconds up and a half, Billy Cundiff. Kick it over here, baby. Pops and let all the fly skillies fill the beat. 42-yarder, 13-3 boys at the break. Third quarter, Zuriel Smith returns the punt, 46 yards. That set up another Billy Cundiff field goal. The Cowboys also finally got a touchback on a kickoff. They had been the only team without one. Fourth quarter, Cundiff. Fourth field goal of the game, Silk, satin so smooth. With 7 field goals in the first meeting with the Giants, 4 in this one, I did the math. 11 field goals in 2 games. Little guy weighs $1-0, 33 points in 2 games against the Giants, and then it's time for the juice. First coach ever to take 4 different teams to the postseason, take a bath. Actually, Parcells calls it going to the tournament. Cowboys will go to the tournament. They beat the Giants 19-3. Cowboys win their 10th game of the season, and for only the 3rd time in their history, they follow a losing season with a 10-win season. They also did it in 1998 and 91.
The whole circle of life thing in full effect in Dallas Sunday. Bill Parcells beating the first team he took to the playoffs to make it back to the playoffs and make history in the process. The Giants, meanwhile, in complete disarray with a makeshift offensive line, an inexperienced quarterback, and a coach on the way out. Had to look familiar to the Cowboys. That used to be them. Those days are done. Ed Werder on yet another notch in Parcells' belt.
There are few things Bill Parcells has failed to accomplish in football, fewer still after Sunday. In an achievement that was marked by Parcells being doused with cold water and drenched in praise, he became the first coach in history to lead 4 different teams to the playoffs. None was less likely than the Dallas Cowboys.
I told him the first day that I ever met him, and I told him the same thing today. Get your expectations up, okay? 'Cause that's where mine are.
You have a sense in the air, finally, that you feel like everybody's prepared well, everybody's up for the challenge, and nobody's going to let you down.
I've been looking forward to this day for a long time. The last 3 years have been 5-11. It's been tough on myself and, some of the teammates.
The clinching victory was classic Parcells. A hard-hitting defense controlled the game. The quarterback nobody believed in when the season began made a few clutch plays and no mistakes. The secret to getting them to win was convincing them they could.
At one point, I didn't know where exactly we would be. We had this losing culture around there for a while, and 5-11 seemed like the mark, we had been stuck on for the last 3 years.
We had a lot of letdowns over the years, and I felt like if somebody just glue the game back together for us and put the pieces together, we could do something. We could be a contender.
Parcells was reminded Sunday of the reason he has often retired from the game, but always come back.
I'm a coach. I enjoy coaching, and it's a killer game. I've told you guys down here that. It gets me after a while. I know that. But when you see those faces in there, those faces, that's what I remember.
Quincy Carter's most anxious moment came in the final 30 seconds when he and teammate Richie Anderson were about to dump the contents of the Gatorade cooler on Parcells. Anderson, who's played on 2 different teams for Parcells, had to reassure Carter that the coach wouldn't be upset before the quarterback agreed to participate. At Texas Stadium, I'm Ed Werder, ESPN.
Coach didn't exactly look thrilled when he got doused, but as he said, those happy faces, they're going back to the playoffs, and Parcells returns the Cowboys to the playoffs after a 3-year absence. Nothing but your regular when it comes to Parcells. You see how quickly he has flipped the script for the teams he's coached. The boys won at a 375 clip just 3 years ago. We